But let's get to the next story, which is about the standoff of the ongoing doctor strike continued, with the government now offering to return to the negotiation table, but on condition that the doctors first called off the strike. The doctors, on the other hand, say they are open to unconditional talks. The crisis, which is entering day 30 tomorrow, could deepen as especially doctors and consultants vowed to withdraw services in private healthcare facilities next week if the government doesn't resolve the doctors' demands. This is a court in Tharaka Nithi suspended the ongoing clinical officers' strike in that county, as Brenda Wanga reports on the hardline stances by the two parties.
Nearly a full month into the biting doctors' strike, and the two opposing sides in this dispute appear to be changing tune on the possibility of getting back to the negotiating table. The head of public service, Felix Koskei, in a statement to the KMPDU says the whole of nation talks first held mid last month are set to be resumed, but on one condition. The letter to KMPDU states that the whole of nation committee will meet with the KMPDU within 24 hours of the union suspending the strike as ordered by the Labour Relations Court.
We have been willing to meet in good faith without any conditionalities. Every single meeting we have been called to, we have attended, no matter how late the invite comes or no matter how late the meeting extends.
The doctors and the government had been given 14 days by the Employment and Labour Courts to complete negotiations and report back to that court by the 17th of this month. The courts also ordered the union to suspend the strike. The doctors say they are not in contempt of court, as the government too hasn't followed orders on their issues.
The only person who can determine whether the court orders have been complied with is a judge in a court or in a court. And if the government feels that we have not complied, they can then open contempt of court proceedings.
Both the national and county governments continue to hold steadfast on their hardline positions on the doctors' strike, with some instituting disciplinary actions against the doctors. Nyeri and Kisumu counties are stopping payment of salaries to doctors in the counties participating in the strike. They are also hiring doctors on short-term basis to fill the gap and restore service provision, just as the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital has done. A move criticized by the Doctors' Union.
As doctors, we know that the Medical Council has a process, a vetting process that is peer-reviewed when you are bringing foreigners to work in the country. It's a process that does not take hours, like happened for the foreign doctors who are brought in.
As the standoff persists, the situation appears set to deteriorate even further, with specialist doctors and consultants now planning to lend their weight to the agitation of the implementation of the CBA.
Because they are not being affected, the political class, and they are there, and they have covers. We are thus calling, and that's why we have called these doctors, who are consultants in their own right. We have called them here today to join the government in demonstrations and strike. And from Tuesday, services in the private sector, we will ask our doctors to withdraw until the demands that are affecting the health sector are addressed.
In the meantime, the ongoing clinical officer strike has been suspended in Tharaka Nithi after the county moved to court to challenge it on an emergency basis. Clinical officers who demonstrated in Kisumu, however, maintain their strike is on.
The problem is not the doctors. The problem is not the unions. The problem is SRC, and the problem is the government.
The doctors and the clinical officers have challenged the government to fix what they say is the ailing health sector, the symptoms of which are now being manifested through the ongoing national strikes. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.